Hello and welcome to this training 20. Now this is a functional one. This is all about core basics. Now I've actually done videos for probably these separate exercises, so you can go and check those out in the functional on my YouTube page under the functional workouts. But I wanted to kind of put these ones together, kind of give you a kind of, this can be a little workout in itself, but a bit more. You can never have enough trying to learn these exercises properly. And if you do want to focus on one in particular, you can go back and check those out. But this one's just going to cover 4 different ones at once to give you guys a good idea of how to do them and generally just work on your core together. So we're going to spend a bit of time on each one and roll through them. So we're starting off with the plank. Obviously everyone knows what the plank is, but not everyone performs it right. So the way I want you to start with the plank, even if you're not a beginner, we're going to start down here like so on those forearms here. So what we're looking for here is to make sure, first of all, our shoulders are over our forearms, like so. Our hips are dropped low, we're not sticking our bum back, which will obviously take, as you can see here, take my shoulder away from being over my elbow. So keep that over there, like so, and on my knees, and my hips dropped, so that my hips aren't higher than my shoulders as well. And then when you're in this position, I just want you to tuck the hips up. So you see that position there, like a cat-cow? You're gonna arch and then tuck the hips up here. So I'm squeezing the glutes and causing that tuck motion up. I'm trying to keep the ribs down at the same time, therefore engaging the core. Now, like I said, I've been over this before, but that's exactly what I want you to try in this position now. So you're tucking those hips up, engaging that core, and you should feel your core working, holding you in this kneeling plank. Hopefully it's not too difficult for you to hold for a long amount of time, but we're just squeezing up. So that's the motion I want you to practice. You're going to go for a tuck, hold for 5 seconds or so, and then relax it off, back into that tuck. The more you can practice that movement, the better you're going to get at focusing on being in a plank, being able to stay in a plank, as well as being able to engage your core in other exercises as well. So just going to do a few more here, tucking up, core strong, engaging there, and then relax off. We're going to take it, we're going to come back to the plank, we're going to take it into a side plank next. So this is a workout you can do along with me. So what we're going to do next is go into a side plank. So what we're looking for here, again, elbow is directly underneath my shoulder. I want a straight line from my knee to my shoulder too, with my feet all the way behind me like so. Once you're in that position there, you can use your hand to help. You're going to try and lift this hip off the floor as high as you can. You're going to put all your weight through the whole forearm, and then you're going to hold this position here like so. Again, what we're looking to do is squeeze the glutes and tuck those hips like we were doing in that plank. We're looking to make sure we're not lifting the chest up, we're looking to keep those ribs down and hold that position here. If at any point you struggle like we did in the other plank, relax down and then drive back up, squeeze the glutes, ribs down, core strong, hold here. Now again, I'm just going to keep holding. If at any point you need to relax down, then do so, but keep focused on keeping those glutes squeezed and that core down, okay? We'll swap over to the other side there. Exactly the same here. So focus on those positions first. Elbow underneath shoulder, hips, knees and shoulders all aligned. Up we go. Use that hand to push up if you need to. Tuck the hips, ribs down, core strong, squeezing the glutes, holding there. I know I'm saying a lot, but it's nice and simple once you've got the idea of it. Like I said, again, you can relax down if you need to, but come up, big squeeze, and hold here, like so. Cool, relax there. So we are going into a Russian twist next. So I actually don't think I have done this one, so this is a new one in terms of the functional videos. So I want you to take a seat here first of all. Sit yourself up dead straight. You can even get yourself into this position with your hands behind you. So you can see I'm sitting up as straight as I can. My heels are down and my knees are up. I'm in this position here. Grab those knees and sit yourself up. So now your arms are holding yourself up here. And then using your arms, let yourself lean back as best you can. See how I haven't rounded the back? I want to start sitting up and never lose that flat back position. Lean back as much as you can. I'm gripping onto my knees to hold me up, and I'm holding here like so. This is the position we want to start in a Russian twist. All I'm going to do here is bring my hands off in front of me. So now, instead of my arms holding me up, it's my core that's holding me up. So I'm in this position here, being held up by the core like so. I just want you to just hold here. If you start to lose that back or it just becomes too difficult, you can either put your hands behind you or just pull yourself back in. So I'm going to pull myself back in here, take myself back, hold that position again. Focus on keeping the core strong, keeping those ribs down and engaged. I can relax my hands back if it's coming too much, reset myself, come up to the top, lean backwards, hold that position there. And just keep it strong. Again, rest off if you need to, sit up, back you go, hold on there. And relax, cool. So exercise 4, which is kind of a 3-in-1 because we're looking at a tuck hold, but we're going to throw in crunch and knees in around that too. So first of all, this is all about lying on the back. We're going to be in this position here. We've got 2 things for a tuck hold, which I have talked about before. We're bringing those knees up first. And again, it's all about tucking those hips, engaging the core. This muscle here requires you to engage from the top and the bottom here. Otherwise we're arching, switching this off as if we're extending muscle and it's not activated anymore. So that's what we're looking to do. Tuck the hips up, keep the ribs down. Easy to keep the hips tucked when you pull those knees right up. It's doing it for you. So now you just have to engage the core. Same with the ribs. If you sit your shoulders up like so, then it's engaging there too. The easiest way to start in this position is like the Russian twist. Hang on to your knees. So bring one knee in, bring the other knee in. Use your arms to pull your shoulders off the floor. And I'm in this ball position. I'm trying to get my bum just off the floor. I'm trying to get my shoulders just off the floor. And I can start here. From this position, I take off one hand. So I'm no longer holding onto that knee. And take off the other hand. If you kind of, as soon as you do that, you kind of collapse down. That's fine. Don't worry too much about that. But what we want to focus on is before you let go of these knees, squeeze as tight as you can. See how I'm taking one off first to see if I can keep that knee up. Then if you really struggle, you can just swap hands like so. But if you can, you're going to take both hands off and maintain that tuck where I've got the bum off and the shoulders off still, like so. So, and just hold here, like the Russian twist or the Russian hold. If it comes too tough, you can grab those knees again. You can even relax your shoulders down. Then you can bring yourself back up, tuck, let go, or alternate with the hands. As you can see here, this is basically all this shoulder thing I'm doing up and down here is like a crunch anyway, so that is basically what a crunch is. So you can see how the crunch is very involved in this tuck position. The same with the knees in and out, because all I'll be doing here is taking them in and out. But working on this, getting this basic position done here first is key. So being able to hold a tuck position is very important. But rest there. We're going to roll back through them, take them a bit further. So we're back into the plank. So let's start from where we left off in terms of this position here. We finished off arching and finding that tuck. Now you've got that tuck position down. Remember, elbow on the shoulders, keeping your hips though, tucking up. What you're going to do is use your feet to push against the floor to take your knees up. If you only do it for a second, that's fine. You can just go reps like this. But you see, I'm maintaining that tuck position. I'm doing everything I'm doing in that kneeling plank, just extending up into that position there. And then what you're looking to do is build up how long you can hold this position. If it collapses and you drop down, then that's fine. Again, it's all about building it up. So find that kneeling position, tuck those hips, and use the feet to push up, hold, and then relax down. Build up those seconds. Use a clock, use your phone underneath you so you can see. We're looking to build up that time you can spend in this position. Not too long. People that go for planks for like 2 hours, it's really necessary, but practicing being able to hold it for at least a minute can really help you improve your core. Anyway, holding here, reps like so. Main thing is if you come up here and automatically lose that position, then you need to come back down, tuck those hips, maintain that strong position there. That's the key. Dropping down, up you go there, okay? Cool, so that's a really good progression to work yourself into a strong plank without having your bum in the air or your shoulders back. That's the best way, or one of the best ways I should say, to build up into a very strong plank. Very similar with the side plank. So set yourself up, elbow on the shoulder, get that in alignment right. Rather than coming up here though, we're going to put our top leg out straight. Pushing up into the same position otherwise. So you can see here, I'm still just on this knee as if I was here, but that top leg is out straight. Find your position, tuck the hips, keep the ribs down, core strong. What you're going to do now is place this knee down here behind that foot. So I extend out and it goes behind. If you drop it immediately, it's fine. Restart, foot goes out, bring it back if you're struggling. Foot goes out, hold for a couple of seconds, too tough, bring the knee down. It's exactly the same as the plank. Use a timer, try and build up that time you can spend here. So up you come, how long can you hold? Get a timer out, build up that time here. Keep using that knee to relax down whenever you need to. And then what you can transition to, if you prefer it, is putting that foot on top. But that's not necessary. You can always do it like this, you can always do it like that, or you can always have one foot on top. But a good way to progress is starting on that knee, prepping, taking that foot out, and building up that time you can hold in that position. Obviously we'll do the same on the other side, quickly. So here I am here, up we go, one leg out, that other foot slides behind, and I push onto that foot, therefore taking the knee away. I can even leave the foot back there, rest that knee down for a second. I can still feel the core working here, pushing up into that full plank, side plank, there. It's a really good way to work on your side planks too. Now we're coming back to the Russian twist. So here, what we're looking for is restarting in that position we were in, so sitting up nice and tall, extending backwards, and lifting off those hands like so. If you've nailed this part, then great. What we need to do from here is build up your twist ability. So, what we see a lot of in the gym, especially if you're holding a weight, is kind of tapping it side to side. See how I'm kind of just looking forward. I'm supposed to be working my core, but there's not much core movement really going on. So, what we want to see here is a big twist in the torso. The best way to do that, which is difficult without any weights, is to sit up straight like we've been doing. Hands on the shoulders, lift your elbows up. Now can you get both elbows pointing to your side? So you go round, twist, like so, back up. Now you know all the movement is coming from your torso because your arms have been locked in, and the only way to get your elbows to point to the side is by twisting your torso here. So this is a really good way to build up that Russian twist. People get taken away by using arms. See here, I'm actually could be twisted like so, rather than just hands to the side. You eventually can build it with weighted ones, like so. But for now, just get used to that movement. Obviously bring yourself up when you need a rest. Hands on the shoulders, or lean yourself back first, sorry. Hands on the shoulders, elbows up, twist, back to the middle, twist, back to the middle. Obviously for the whole of this I've kept my feet on the floor. A lot of people only know the Russian twist as an exercise where you have your feet off the floor. For me, I find it, for most people, too advanced. They lose the idea. As soon as those feet come off, they start kind of wobbling and focusing on just getting through the exercise. Core should be controlled, so I want you to keep those heels down, leaning back, focus on that controlled movement before you even think about lifting your feet or adding a weight. Moving back to the tuck. So here we are, tucking up like so, rounded up, in that position, holding onto those knees, off we come here. Now, I'm not going to work on the crunch anymore, because the crunch is literally this motion here, which you've just been practicing by coming up into this tuck anyway. So that is kind of self-explanatory. The knees in and out is totally different. You get a lot of people really struggling with it, a lot of people getting pain in their lower back rather than feeling it in their core, or just generally really unable to do the exercise. So we're going to focus on that bit next. So once you're tucked up in this position here, I want you to take your arms up like we've been doing and try and take a leg out as far as you can, but keeping it high. Just like so. If those hips drop, now it won't be as obvious as that. If I show you how they may drop, so if I'm tucked up here, you can see my bum is off the floor. So watch here. If I keep going out, eventually they're going to sink down. You can see that knee move with it. What we want to focus on is keeping that core engaged the whole time. So I want you to focus on squeezing this knee towards you as you take this leg out and keeping it high. The lower I go, the harder it's going to become to keep, you can hear me, to keep this in and tucked and back out. If you lose that, you're not necessarily going to hurt yourself or anything like that, but you are going to lose some of the core engagement that we've got going on there. So I'll take you through it again. Both knees up, squeezing this knee in as the other leg goes out. Keep it high first of all. It's easier to start nice and high, alternating sides, kicking a leg out and back in. From there you can try it with all the way to the floor. So again, squeezing this knee in, all the way I go out, I'm trying to tap that heel. See how this knee doesn't move? I'm keeping this core engaged. Swap it over, knees constantly pulling in, tap and back in there. If you're finding you're going out, you're arching, you're losing that position, it's simply the core switching off because it's become too strong, it's become too difficult to keep on. Too much weight has gone away from the body, like as if you're holding a big weight. Your legs are heavy, so your legs are pulling you away, your core can't handle it, so it gives out and relaxes. That's fine, that's normal, so that's why I want you to start in these high positions. You tuck up, you only kick out a little bit and back in, kicking high. And it doesn't even have to be very far, it can be little kicks like so. Always focusing on the opposite knee, making sure you're keeping it nice and engaged, and you can eventually build out those knees and build out that core whilst keeping that tuck. Now it is a good rule that if you can't get the hands under your back, then you are keeping it engaged, but this is just as effective by thinking, okay, is my knee staying up the whole time? Because then you can feel the core really working. And yes, my back is flat to the floor. So there you go. That is the best way to build up your tuck position, which will help with your core, knees in, and your crunches as well. Okay. So finally, we're going to come back to the plank, as it's probably a lot of people's favourites, or at least a lot of people do all the time. But it's also used in so many other exercises. Now we worked on this arch and tuck here. See, arch, tuck. And then we worked on finding that tuck and then coming off the knees onto the toes into that full plank. Now, although we don't want to be doing it during a plank, having the ability to do so in a plank is really key. And what I'm talking about is that arching and tuck. So here we go. So I'm on the knees, I'm arching and tuck. Arch, tuck and engage. And then let's bring it onto the feet. Can you do the same thing here? Can you arch? Can you tuck? Arch, tuck. That tucking motion, that being able to engage that core is really important. And if you can do it in a plank, then it means your core is very strong, your mind is strong in terms of being able to do something like that. So when you need to do it in an exercise or generally in a plank, renegade row, whatever it is, if you can physically think, okay, in order to maintain this plank, I need to go from this position to this position and hold to make sure that my plank is nice and strong. So practicing that in the harder position is key. You may be able to do it absolutely fine here, absolutely no problem, but when you've got that full weight on, being able to tuck under those hips may be a lot more difficult. Well, it is a lot more difficult, but tucking up those hips, squeezing those glutes, is really going to help you perfect your plank, as well as make all exercise easier that require the plank, which to be honest is most of them. So practicing that arching round in the back is vital, okay? And that's it. I'm going to stop there. I just wanted to get that last bit of the plank in. But there's 4 exercises that you may be struggling with or you may really want to work on in order to improve your core. But they're all basics. There was nothing complicated there. Work on the basics before you progress to anything else. You see it a lot. People trying to do leg lifts, people trying to do Russian twists with a big weight and their feet off the floor. Nail the basics first, and those exercises that you're trying to do now will become more efficient and become more beneficial to you in your training. So I hope you've got something out of this video, and yeah, I'll catch you for the next one.